Beehive Sports Podcast is powered by Swing Juice. Visit swingjuice.com. Use promo code Beehive20 for 20% off your golf and MLB PA apparel. Swing Juice, wear it, feel it, play it. Episode 39. Today's show, we have the NFL COVID protocol changes that were made just today due to the league-wide outbreak. Urban Meyer kicked to the curb. Like that?
I enjoy it.
Reactions to the NFL week, and including a little go-in on Steeler fans on social media. Coach Sanders snags a 5-star recruit for Jackson State. 5 fast facts for you this week in sports history. And then we have another jam-packed Things That Sting, which includes several updates on older cases. And in my hive, we are joined by the new Warren Dragons head baseball coach, Andrew Mo Morrison. Let's go.
Welcome to the Beehive Sports Podcast. Here are your hosts, Joe and Sketty.
This week's opening segment brought to you by Napoli's. Hungry watching the game? Call Napoli's at 814-723-7455. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Located in North Warren. Pickup or delivery available. I want to give them another extra shout out. We've completed Shop with a Cop, which I think I have a banner for. Yeah, I do. Look at. Also learned how to add emojis to the banners. Win.
Getting high tech.
Seriously. Look at them. They're terrible. Anyways, so Shop with a Cop, huge success. I think I talked about it a little bit last week, but we did another 2 days of it this week, and it went really well. So I want to thank all the donors who did that, and special thanks to Napoli's for hosting everybody for lunch afterwards. With that said, the beard, 2 weeks gone.
You gonna dye it white for Christmas?
No. I'm just sad that I'm gonna soak up these last 14 days with a beard and then just go back to being cold in the face again, I guess. I don't fucking know. But actually,
you ought to petition the chief. Tell him beards should be allowed.
Listen, I've traveled that route, and he's going to listen to this, and he's going to know that we've traveled that route. One day, I'm wearing them down, I think. A little bit.
As a concerned citizen, I'd like to see the beards. I feel a little safer.
Write a letter. That's what people do.
A strongly worded letter.
To advocate change. Why didn't we golf today?
That's an excellent question because it was gorgeous out.
It's 60 degrees and it's 9 days till Christmas.
Yeah, if I wasn't working on the house, I 100% would have been at the golf course.
I would have golfed today. It was nice out
for sure. Yeah.
So first thing I want to bring up on today's show, because this is something that we need to start discussing. And I figured, why not do it live? And then maybe if people are listening and want to chime in, they can tell us what they're thinking. But we got to get the fan rant rolling. So
Correct.
Here's what I was thinking, though. Like, the original fan rant was make a case for why your team could win the Super Bowl. Clearly, some of the winners from the original fan rant, like, their team's not making the playoffs.
Correct.
So
Panthers.
There's several. But so I'm thinking, like, should we wait till the playoff field is announced and reinvite the fans from those teams and have them square off live? Like, whoever's matched up that week, those two have to go at it, and we'll do it,
I like that. Yeah, I like
because we can do it on video. I think I can have, like, I don't know how many people on here at one time, but I should figure that out. But I think that's what is that what you think's cool?
I think that's a pretty good idea. Yeah.
So like when the playoff matchups are set, the podcast show the week of, we have to try and get a fan from each team, preferably the ones who did it before. But this time they do it on video and they have to go head to head. And we can I think I can mute people. I don't know. I think I can do that. So I could mute one and let the other one go so there's no interruptions, and then let the other one go, and then just maybe unmute them both and let them fucking just have a shouting match. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something to think about.
I love it.
So, all right. We'll have to start looking into that. I have to remember who represented what teams anyways. And I know some like the Cardinals are going to make the playoffs, and we didn't have a person for them.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So we're going to have to branch out again and maybe find somebody. I'm sure somebody does a Cardinals podcast, right?
Has to be. Has to be someone.
Maybe not.
No, and I know, but if there has to be someone in Arizona that does a Cardinals podcast.
Right. That's what I would have thought. So, all right. Are we ready to head on into the show, the actual show?
As ready as I'm going to get.
All right. Well, I'm starting you off with a little video that was shared with me today. And we're going to start off, obviously, talking with the big news from last night with Urban Meyer. Just a heads up to anybody who's listening. Last time I played a video, I got kicked off and we had to reboot. So if that happens, bear with us. But here we go.
But I asked if I could pound her. Wasn't me. Saw me dancing on a softball. Wasn't me. I even asked if I could mount her. Wasn't me. They even caught me on camera. Wasn't me. But what about this other video? Wasn't me. Here's a photo of me touching her. Wasn't me. Here's another fucking video. Wasn't me. Okay, this interview is over. Shawty came in and she called me red-handed, grinding on a 20-year-old. Picture this, we were both drunk, wasted, dancing on the Applebee's floor.
I loved it. It was sent to me today. It was funny. I had to play it. So, Urban Meyer, obviously, I think this is something we've been anticipating for since he got hired.
Yep.
The girl in Columbus, after not traveling with the team, calling coaches losers. That was what came out last week, where he was saying, what have you won? What have you won?
Yep.
You guys are losers. Kicking Lambeau, obviously. I actually have an entire list right here, so I'll just briefly read through this. This is just some of the things that took place during his how many games did he coach? 13.
Yeah.
He hired Chris Doyle as the team's director of sports performance. Doyle was accused of making racist comments and belittling players during his time at Iowa. Signed Tim Tebow as a tight end. Drafted a running back in the first round despite having James Robinson on the roster. Openly admitted that he was hoping to draft Kadarius Toney with the pick they used on Etienne. Told reporters that they cut players due to their vaccination status. The NFLPA actually opened an investigation into those comments. He had an open competition for starting QB between Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew. Minshew was later traded, but the split valuable first team reps with Lawrence. So that actually, I didn't even really consider that, but that does make sense. Didn't travel with the team after their week 4 loss in Cincinnati. And that's when the videos come out of him with the 20-year-old girl in Columbus. And like I said, reports he called his coaches losers, benched James Robinson. Former kicker says that Meyer kicked him, and the 2-11 record. What a start for Lawrence.
I mean, I think I said this before the season even started. As soon as they hired him, thought it was a stupid move, inexperienced guy. You got the first pick in the draft, and this is where you go. I mean, the guy quit college because he was going to have a heart attack. He couldn't take the pressure.
Yeah, I think it was it looked splashy. That kind of thing. Yep. I don't know. One last thing before we move on from Urban Meyer. Dave Sherman requested, well, he didn't request, but he said, I'd like to see the video of this Josh Lambeau thing. So I'm kind of on Team Dave here because it's one of those things where it's players saying he did it, but always nice to have video evidence, right?
Yeah, well, a little suspicious he waited so long.
Right. And I couldn't find a video of him kicking Josh Lambo, but what I imagine it would look like if somebody kicked an NFL kicker, because they're kind of like the weak, tiny little fellows on the team, right? Okay, so this is what I imagine it would look like. So this is the closest thing to a video I could find for Dave.
Ah! 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 Ah!
Close?
Pretty close.
That's all I got.
It's close as I can imagine it being.
He says he came back and said, "Don't you fucking kick me again." That's what Lambo says he said. Not buying it.
Yep.
He laid there and looked around for like his long snapper to protect him or something like that. He didn't. There's no.
He went full LeBron. Laid there until he realized something was coming out.
Why didn't I get a video of LeBron flopping?
You're slack.
That would have been a much better idea, actually.
Yep.
Wish I had thought of that. Real quick, too, before we get on to the actual games from this week, I actually completely skipped over the NFL COVID protocols. So 75 cases in the last 2 days in the NFL. There's like 3 teams that have 8 or more. The Browns, Redskins, I think was one, or football team.
Browns are, yeah, they're both bad.
Browns are in serious trouble, but the Lions have like 7 or 8.
Nick Mullins is starting.
They'll be fine.
That's the best thing that could happen to the Browns. Nasty Nick.
Their future. Yeah, he was pretty nasty in San Fran, wasn't he?
They put up some stats.
So,
not the ones that count.
Not the yeah,
not
correct.
the wins.
Not the wins.
Nice numbers. Yeah.
So the COVID updated policy that came out today is masks regardless of vaccination status, remote or outdoor meetings, no in-person meals. So you have to virtually eat? Apparently.
Stay in your room. We'll bring you food or room service.
We'll email it to you. No outside visitors on team travel. Strongly encouraging boosters and adjusted return requirements for returning after COVID-19. So if you, I guess, test positive or something, then that's, hey, we got Torrey's helping us out here. Washington's down 5 to 6 defensive linemen, and also said Mullins beat the Raiders once.
That's true.
Valid points.
I think I saw the Skins are down like 13 potential starters. I couldn't figure out the line for that game. The Eagles are like 9.5-point favorites, and I thought that was astronomical. And then I read into it, and
as long as they got Heineke, they'll be fine. Do they got Heineke and McLaurin?
I'm not sure. I didn't look into the players, but I saw like Sweat was out, Payne was out. It doesn't look good.
Doesn't. All right, so we'll get into the games from last week here. This is what I've been waiting for since Thursday night. So I have a lot to say about this game. First, Steelers looked bad in the first half. Anybody who watched that entire game saw this just atrocity that was the first half.
Putting it nicely.
Yeah, Ben played terrible in the first half. Claypool had the stupid penalty, gets benched for a couple series. The defense couldn't do anything with Dalvin Cook. Like
176 yards
right.
rushing is what they had. Something like
everything
that.
was bad.
Yep.
So the second thing that I wanted to bring up is the Steeler fans on Facebook. Now I understand we live in a Steeler area. A lot of the, Bills, Steelers, Browns, but it's still predominantly Pittsburgh, I would venture to say. They were, anybody who follows the Facebook page saw the post I put up where I said in the second half, current state of Steeler fans deleting their posts from the first half because they're all just going fucking bananas. And after everything that happened, like, I am not an in-game status updater, poster, tweeter person. And I'll never understand why people want to do that, like document each thought that they have throughout the game. If I did that, my Facebook status watching the Bills would just say, "We fucking suck." And then 5 minutes later, "We fucking suck." Because those are like thoughts that go into my head. But like, so many people feel the need to just throw their professional analysis out there middle of the game, and then something like what happens in the second half takes place and you look stupid. Shut her down, log out, wait for the second half to be done. When the clock hits zeros, that's something I've learned as a sports bettor, and I wish that more people would just learn it in general. Wait till everything says zeros and the game has the little F next to it for final score, because you never know what is going to take place. But yeah, it's just the post. This play, that play. They're solving all the Steelers' problems. They know exactly, what the issue is. Because that same team in the first half, it made those people look ridiculous in the second half. Was the point of the entire thing. 28 seconds, what is it? Three touchdowns in 5 minutes of game clock, 28 second half points, and on the final drive, it was down to a one possession game. They lose after the failed one shot at the end zone, which could have been one, maybe two, if Claypool wasn't too busy celebrating and wasting 14 seconds of game clock in the midst of it. So
yeah,
I'm going to get to it because I know what you're thinking, because I heard that argument too.
Yeah.
I heard arguments from some fans that Claypool himself, who said, well, my teammate knocked the ball out of my hand. And I heard other fans say, well, Trey Turner knocked the ball out of his hand. Trey Turner wouldn't have had to leave his post to go fetch Claypool if he wasn't aiming downfield for a first down. If he gets touchdown, he could set the ball down, he can hand it to the ref, he could do anything he wants. Get back to the line of scrimmage. That's what you're supposed to be doing right now. His situational awareness in that game was an atrocity, and that's really just all I have to say about as far as the Claypool thing goes. There's no excuse for it. And anybody who wants to make an excuse for him is essentially, in my opinion, enabling the situation. On top of that, this is where the other posts were coming in. Tomlin's lost the locker room. Mike Tomlin, it's his time to go. He needs to go. Mike Tomlin's 151, 84, and 2. He's never had a losing season in Pittsburgh. Not once. He's been 500, I think, twice, maybe. Once for sure, maybe twice, 8-8. Never had a losing season. To put that in perspective, since 1969, the Steelers have had 3 coaches on their team. You had Chuck Noll, Cowher, Tomlin. So to keep it local, because that's like, Bill, Steelers, Browns, it's what most people around here discuss. So to put that in perspective, Buffalo, since 1998, has had 18 head coaches. I'm sorry, since 1969, has had 18 head coaches, 10 since 1998. Cleveland, since 1969, 21 head coaches, 12 since 1998. And people want to bitch about Mike Tomlin? Mike Tomlin's 8-8 in the playoffs, 1-1 in the Super Bowl, and like I said, 151, 84, and 2. When Le'Veon Bell started acting up, what happened to him?
Oh, he left.
He left. But they offered him more money. He wanted out of Pittsburgh because they weren't putting up with his bullshit. He'd been suspended there how many different times? And where's his career been since then? Nowhere. If he's even on the active roster with Baltimore still, I don't know. He could be on the practice squad. I don't know. Antonio Brown, same fucking scenario. Lost the locker room? No. Antonio Brown did his thing. They moved on from him. Where's his career at now? He won a Super Bowl last year, sure. I don't want to hear that. Don't even throw that out there, though, as if he was a huge part of them getting there and winning it. He wasn't. Everybody knows that. Does he make that team better? Sure. He makes any team better. But what's he doing now? What's he on suspension week 8? 6, 7, 8, something like that this season, still pulling his shit. And the Steelers moved on from that but Tomlin lost the locker room. I think personally, Tomlin's dealing with what every coach in the NFL is dealing with right now, and that's this new generation of players that brand is more important than team. And that is the case with a lot of these guys. It just so happens that the Steelers have 2 of them on their roster right now. Does that mean Tomlin lost the locker room? No. Did you see his response to Chase Claypool when he said, "Can we play music at practice?" He said, Chase Claypool is a wide receiver. He needs to worry about wide receiver things. I'm the coach. I'll worry about how practice is run. Is that the answer from a guy who's lost his locker room?
No. I mean, don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Think so.
Right. So my campaign for today is just Steeler fans, do everyone a favor. If you're a social media guy who has to update after every play, every turnover, every touchdown, every whatever, just do us all a favor and stay off social media, because you're going to save your analysis for after the game. If you want to talk about it, talk about it. It's your Facebook, and I know that's what people are going to say. It's my Facebook. I'll post whatever the fuck I want. Yeah, sure. But you're going to look silly when you continue to do this shit. If you just want to be a fan and, wait till after the game and then say, hey, this sucked, this sucked, this sucked, this looked good, this looked good. Meanwhile, you know what we didn't see one post about that entire time, Sketty?
What's that?
That they drafted Najee Harris in the first round and they have no offensive line.
That's because Steelers fans think that was going to solve the running game. Working out really well for him.
But they'll go in on Ben all night. It's always on Ben. Look, everybody who watches the NFL like religiously, or even maybe just a little bit, everybody knows Ben's time's up. He's going to retire. He's probably going to after this year. If he stretches his career to another team for one more season, I'd be really, really surprised.
I'd be shocked because I don't know who would want him.
But everybody, to me, that guy gave everything he fucking had in the second half of that Vikings game. Yep. Emptied the tank and looked like the only player on the field who gave a shit.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, something I was going to say about Claypool, I'm not talking about whether his player knocked the ball out of his hand or not, but I've never seen such a lackadaisical final drive. You're running out of time. You got to score. Everyone on the team was just kind of walking up to the line, just half-ass jog. You watch a good team in that situation, the receiver's catching the ball, he's getting it up, he's running to the rep, they're sprinting to their spots. No one on the Steelers was doing that. Now, Chase Claypool deserves blame because you don't celebrate. It's a piss-poor situation to celebrate in. But nobody else was really had any pep in their step either. Everybody was just kind of...
I don't know. To me, everybody was at the line waiting for the play. And Trey Turner broke off of it and grabbed Claypool, and then the ball goes rolling. And he wouldn't have had to go get him if he would have just been heading back in their general direction.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not trying to give Claypool an out because what he did is inexcusable. I mean, you don't sit there and celebrate. Get that ball to the ref and get your ass out to where you're supposed to be lined up. But just to my eye, and it wasn't just even that play. There was a couple more plays where I thought the linemen, everyone was just they were acting like they had all the time in the world, kind of which obviously wasn't the case. Maybe with one more chance at the end zone there, you got a chance to win this thing. And I just think the whole team, and then Claypool gets the blame because he's caught the ball. He's acting like an idiot. But I didn't see it from anyone on the team. I didn't see a single player sitting there ready to go. So I think this is
Trey Turner was ready.
Well, Trey Turner, yeah. I mean,
he was so ready.
Well,
yeah.
Even then, that's the thing they were getting up to the line so slow. Chase Claypool looks around for 2 seconds looking to see, and then realizes, hey, nobody else is up here. I'm going to celebrate. What the fuck? What are you doing? On him and the whole team. And to your point about Tomlin, I don't know that he's lost the locker room, but I just don't think he's ever been that. He's maybe a little more high quality Marvin Lewis. Your team's going to be in playoff contention every year, but are you ever going to win the big one?
How many playoff wins?
Coward teams.
How many playoff wins does Lewis have?
I have no idea. 0, maybe. I don't know. 1, 2. I have no idea.
0.
Yeah. it was still 8-8 with the talent that team's had, with the defenses he's had. You have Antonio Brown, there's another one. I think he contributed greatly letting Antonio Brown be Antonio Brown because of what he was giving him on the field.
Well,
And then finally just said enough is enough.
I agree with that too.
I think he enabled that problem a little bit. But again, I don't think he's lost the locker room. I don't think that's a situation. I just don't think, a not very talented team. It's you're getting what the Steelers were. Last year was a fluke. They should have never been whatever they were. 12-0, 11-0.
Tori comments in, well, to be fair, the Bengals and Browns have been 4 freebies for the last decade. Okay, then if we're throwing that out there, then I guess the Patriots just haven't ever been that good either then. Because the Bills, Dolphins, and Jets were freebies for them for a long time too.
You don't want to get me going on that whole argument right now. I'm not going to get started on Belichick and Brady right now and the farce that is. But yes, it's just the Steelers are a mess right now. Something's got to be done. Juju, Claypool, get them out. Do something.
Yeah. All right. Your 49ers hang on in OT against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Lock of the decade, just like I predicted. That game, I kind of felt like the Niners outplayed them pretty much the whole game, but then I did the game recap today just as a refresher for this. And really, it was a pretty sloppy game for what it actually was. The Bengals had a couple of muffed punts there. The Niners hopped on and didn't really capitalize as much as they should have in those situations. And then totally outplayed them. Second, third quarter, fourth quarter, the secondary got exposed. That's going to be a problem in San Francisco going forward down this last little stretch. The Bengals, I was kind of surprised that they didn't exploit that a little bit more throughout the game, honestly. Jamar Chase kind of got going there a little bit at the end. But, the Niners held tough. They had a chance to win it in regulation. Gould misses the kick. Hung tough, gave up the field goal in OT, went down and scored the touchdown to seal the deal.
Kittle's he's been a little bit on fire lately, huh?
Kittle has been on an absolute tear. The guy is just phenomenal. I've been saying this for 2 years. He's the best tight end in football. Not to mention what he brings to the passing game, which obviously he might not be quite the pass catcher that Kelsey is, but it's hard to say with Jimmy Garoppolo throwing him the ball. But what he brings to the run game and his blocking ability, he's just amazing. One thing I will say is Kyle Shanahan, there's another one. They're up with 5 minutes to go. And I don't know if they ran it 3 straight plays, but Jeff Wilson had 16 yards on 3 carries, gets a first down, and then Kyle goes, this is a perfect time to pass it 3 straight times. And, it's 3rd and 10. I think they completed a pass for like 8 yards. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's averaging 4 yards a carry on this drive and the fucking football.
Yeah.
We got to throw. He outcoaches himself sometimes. It scares me about him. It's like, they'll never see this coming. It's like, he's like Pete Carroll on the fucking goal line. Should we hand it to Marshawn Lynch? No, let's throw the slant. I'll never see that. Yeah. What the fuck are you doing? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But, I think that's a pretty good win to go into Cincinnati. Against a pretty tough team, come out with that win. Makes me feel good about this last little stretch. And they needed it. Lost there, and they're really fighting for playoff life.
Well, as a person who's now, invested in rooting interests because the Bills suck, I appreciate the loss for the Bengals. So
yeah, I got many a text from Browns fans, a lot of AFC people giving me some love there.
Yeah,
Sunday evening.
Chiefs Raiders. 2 really stupid things that happened this week in 2 separate games, and this is the first one that we're going to talk about. The Raiders had a little pregame meeting on the Chiefs logo, which before they could even get the meeting notes sent out in an email, it was 35-3 at halftime.
Yep.
What
they have? Was it 1 defensive touchdown or? I was watching the Niners game. I didn't see a lot of this.
I don't. I did not get to tune into a lot of the 1 o'clock games this week because I was traveling. So Edwards-Helaire had 2. Yeah, Mahomes threw for 2, but 35-3. On at halftime, on way to a 48-9 victory, 6 straight. Kansas City, a balanced Kansas City Chiefs offense, and it looks scary. Honestly,
I'll tell you, this is one that I think this is kind of a fan overreaction. I have it on my phone here. Let me pull up my pictures. This Chiefs defense has been playing really good. So over their last 5 games, I think they've allowed 14 points to the Raiders, which was the most points they've allowed in the last 5 games. Every other game's been under 10. But the teams that they've faced were the Packers without Rodgers, the Raiders, who they let 14 up to, the Cowboys, who were
hit or miss.
I can't remember if they had all the receivers for that. The Broncos, and then the Raiders. So while the defense is looking better, who have they played that's an offensive superpower in that in that time? There's the smackdown of the Raiders looks fancy. It looks good. Maybe it is scary. Maybe I'm gonna miss on this, but we'll see what happens tonight. If they do this to the Chargers tonight, I'll be a believer.
It's a big game.
I will be a believer. Huge game.
I was putting this off in hopes that we wouldn't even have to really talk about it, but I figured if I just completely didn't talk about it, somebody would call me out on it. The Bills in the first half looked like the Steelers in the first half of their game.
Yep.
No interest in being there. Offense had no interest in staying on the field. There's just a lot of it was tough. So throughout that first half, though, Steeler fans take note. I didn't document how angry I was after every series. I only put up one post on the podcast page because I thought it would be fun to add in at this time that I own the Packers. So watching the Bills sucks, but I own Green Bay, so it doesn't matter. First half, no effort to establish the run. Second half, they decide to start handing the ball off a little bit, and all of a sudden, Devin Singletary has 4 carries for 52 yards, averaging 13 a carry. And it opened up the pass, and they started scoring points.
Yep.
Funny how that works. The refs, you guys saw the video I posted on the page. Just everybody listening, find you somebody who holds you like defensive backs from Tampa Bay hold Stephon Diggs.
That's not even just a Diggs thing. I said this through the whole playoff run they had last year. They just fucking held everybody. That's how their pass defense got good. They were like, let's just cheat and see what happens.
Yeah, and if they aren't getting called, which they know who their quarterback is, and they don't flag his team as often as they do other teams.
Yep.
I mean, I hate to jump on that train of thought that Brady just gets calls or doesn't have calls against him, but I'm also not one to say that the refs can change the outcome of a game. Buffalo obviously could have played better in the first half, and then they're not clawing back into the game. No shit. I know that. Everybody knows that. But when they're driving down at the end of the game and they have to settle for a game-tying field goal when instead it should have been 1st and goal on the 1-yard line because Stephon Diggs was interfered with, obviously. It wasn't even could have gone either way kind of call. He was getting mugged.
Yep.
And that changes the outcome of a game because now you have 1st and goal on the 1-yard line with 30-some seconds to go or whatever it was. 3 shots at the end zone before you got to settle for that game-tying field goal. And it's just unbelievable that call is not made right in front of a ref. I mean, standing right there.
It scares me as a Tom Brady hater that if they're going to start letting the Bucs play defense like this, I don't know how you're going to beat them. There's no way. If they're going to play defense like that and just be able to grab the receivers and, they're not going to keep them honest. It's just paving the road for a Tom Brady Super Bowl.
The Bills Mafia did step up and do their thing, though. Made their presence felt and donated. They raised up to 40. At last I checked, $40,000 that they raised and donated to the visually impaired, and they did so in the name of NFL referees.
I will say that's one good thing about Bills fans. Unlike Steelers fans, instead of just bitching, you at least put some money towards a good cause with the bitching. So I can get behind that. I can get behind. But Mike Zimmer should take notes.
I didn't. This is the first one they did that I didn't partake in. I did the Andy Dalton one, and I did the Lamar Jackson one. Actually, I think they just did one recently for Trey White that I didn't do too. I gotta get back on track with that because it's fun to do, and you get the little notification email. Thank you for your donation. And I did and we did the Josh Allen one, the Oshai Children's Hospital. So try to maintain that whenever they do them because it's just it's all stuff for a good cause, and it's just fun to be a part of that. I don't take too much claim to a lot of what the Bills Mafia does. I don't want to jump through a table or just any of that, whatever else, stuff they do.
If they would have started that like a few years ago, I might have switched and been a Bills fan.
Well, I'm not even on like I don't even follow the Bills, like the official Bills Mafia Facebook page. It's like an ungodly amount of members. And if you're in it, your entire news feed is just that. And it's all like, some of it's like off the wall, really stupid shit that I see. And I'm just like, there's another thought that shouldn't have been documented. And I can only imagine what that page looks like mid-game, like when the game's going on and people are putting stuff up constantly. Like it would drive me nuts. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I called out Steeler fans, but I know it's just not you, it's everybody. But because of where we live, that's what we see. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not they're the only ones who do it. Everybody does it. Every team's fan base.
I think I've texted you before. Like I might even texted you this week when the Niners like playing the Bengals are just not capitalizing on anything. They're outplaying them and they're just,
right,
but you're just doing everything you can do to lose the game.
That to me is still different, though. If you're texting somebody, it's just you and them having a conversation about a game. It's no different than like sitting and watching it with somebody. But when you're putting that post out there of like just stupid analysis mid-game, and I turned it off. I turned the fucking game off. And I know a lot of Steeler fans who did turn it off, and they turned it off, and then. Come to find out, holy shit, they missed a really exciting second half where Ben, kind of almost looked like vintage Ben for a minute. And like I said, I think he emptied out the tank and tried to get them back in that game, whatever. But
Yep.
Check out this headline.
Love that.
The Browns stopped the Browns from browsing, and they beat the Ravens. So they stopped themselves from fucking up the game. For those who don't understand what browsing is or whatever, dominate the first half. We did get a podcast koozie photo from the game, courtesy of Joe Sperveri. Dominate the first half, no Lamar. You think with no Lamar, they're going to cruise. Browns offense just went into shutdown mode in the second half, and here comes the Ravens trying to stretch out that luck that they've been running with all fucking year. And the Browns, did enough there at the end to get the 2-point win. And the Ravens did enough to get me a 2.5 points cover. So that was pretty sweet too.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, losing Lamar, that game's totally different if Lamar doesn't go down, I believe. But
I would.
Yeah, geez. They tried hard to lose it. They tried, which probably would have effectively ended the season. I think the Browns are at a point now where
they're on life support.
3-1. Yeah, you need to go 3-1, and you can maybe go 2-2, but they need a lot of help. Like they need to be rooting for the Chiefs tonight, I think.
Yeah. At this point, I mean, even myself as a Bills fan, it's cheering for division leaders and hoping these wild card teams start taking some losses.
Yep. They're on fire.
That's correct. They are on fire ever since I bought them. So the Packers get another win under new ownership. Story of this game. So we talked about the first dumb thing that took place on a football field that led to a disaster. Second dumb thing, Robert Quinn, or as California would call him, Quinn Daddy. He used to love him when he was a Ram.
Yeah, I remember.
Big Quinn fan. So Quinn Daddy sacks Rodgers, which he has like 13 sacks this year, which is actually impressive because Robert Quinn, he's pretty old. He does the discount double check right in front of Rodgers. Like Rodgers is on the ground looking up at him doing the discount double check. What do you suppose happened after that?
We know what happened after that.
24 consecutive points and a 15-point win for the Packers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the Bears were hanging on. It was a little fluky. What they have? Grant had a punt return touchdown.
Yep. It was 27-21 at halftime.
Yeah. Well, I won quite a bit of money on DraftKings I played Grant. He did pretty good for me. Couple long TDs. But like Bird, kid from used to be a Patriot. He broke another long one. They kind of had just a couple lucky fluke plays to make that game a little bit closer than what it probably should have been. So, but the Packers look tough. I was happy they covered for me. I think that was like one of my few wins this week.
Yeah, I had them also. I took that 12. I think it was down to 11.5 when I took it. But Adams had like the game of his life, which I'm cool with now because I'm a team owner. But I also have Adams in fantasy and Dalvin Cook. And my fantasy team this week in the consolation doesn't fucking matter game because I didn't make the playoffs in my league. 180 some points my team scored.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it would have been great to do that, something similar to that, like throughout the season when it mattered. Because now I'm in a match that means nothing. I could have benched everybody, and nothing would have mattered.
Yeah,
and they all just decided to go off this week. It's real cool. It was pretty consistent with how my season went, honestly.
Yep.
This one's all you, buddy.
The
Rams Cardinals. We'll start with they did get a nice win Monday night, 30-23. Kind of a statement win that they're back in the mix. They don't want to be forgot about, left behind. I don't really have a whole lot to say about the game, other than I did see a guy on Facebook on some page saying that OBJ has been playing lights out.
I wouldn't say lights out, but I think he's starting to show that he wasn't the problem in Cleveland. Baker was the problem.
I think he's starting.
I think he's the problem in Cleveland.
I think he's starting to show that he's a really, really good number 2 when you have Cooper Kupp on your team.
Well, having Cooper Kupp helps. I mean, I wonder what the situation would be if Robert Woods was still healthy. I'd be interested to see how he likes being a third.
Bobby Trees.
But Bobby Trees. Yeah, but he's stepped in, and again, it was his third week with the team. I guess he had one bye week. So we'll see what happens down the stretch here. I still am not a big believer in the Rams, although now with the whole deal they got where they can market themselves in China, LeBron might come play tight end for them. Might be a little bit of a uptick in the offense.
It could be the new IHMA, which is International Home Marketing Areas. Several teams jumped in this in multiple countries. The Rams are the only ones who decided to partner with the country of China. 5-year program, pursue activities in that international market consistent with what they do in the domestic home marketing area. This includes in-person and digital marketing, corporate sponsor sales, youth football activities, merchandise sales, and co-marketing relationships with other sports and entertainment properties in the market.
Well, so I think this is a perfect fit for the Rams. What do we know about China? They love old, washed up shit. Like The Rock. Any movie The Rock makes, huge. Fast and the Furious movies, huge in China. The Rams don't have a first-round draft pick for like 10 fucking years. A bunch of old, washed-up guys that are kind of shitty. Like, oh, yeah, they might do some cool stuff once in a while, but overall, they're dog shit. They're never going to be the best. So China's going to be like, holy fuck, the Rams. This is our team. They're going to make unlimited money. Matt Stafford might start flopping like LeBron. I don't know. We'll see what fucking happens. Space Jam 3.
So
starring OBJ, OBJ and Cooper Kupp.
And then, so now are the Rams going to start hating on that dude from the Celtics, the one who bashes everything about China because it's not
Enes Kanter.
Yeah. No, that's not his name anymore. It's Enes Kanter Freedom.
Freedom, correct. Mr. Freedom.
He changed his last name once he became a United States citizen.
The fact that anybody's that's just a pure money grab. The fact you partner with freaking China with all the shit they got going on over there is just disgusting. But whatever. I mean, it's the fucking Rams. Who cares? Hope China enjoys watching them just like barely make the playoffs for 2 years and then just being dog shit for the next 10. Great. Good times.
What's their new name?
Oh, the Shanghai Rams. Soon to be.
Soon to be Shanghai Rams. Yeah. All right, we're going to move on to some NCAA. Did you have anything else for NFL?
No.
No? All right. Jackson State has a one-loss season under Coach Deion Sanders, and they flip a five-star recruit from Florida State to Jackson State. Travis Hunter, the number 2 overall college recruit. He plays cornerback. Makes sense why Deion was probably hot on his trail. Yep. It's the first 5-star high school prospect to sign with an FCS school since ESPN started doing the rankings in 2006.
Now, see, I wonder if this is the Deion effect. Like players want to go play for Deion. I had heard that Deion has a deal with Barstool, and apparently Barstool is going to sign this kid to some sort of NIL deal. So he's going to get paid pretty handsomely to go play for Deion.
Those rumors were shot down.
Oh, they were? Okay, all right.
At least for now, but who knows what they're just trying to mask for in the meantime. But yeah, because I actually made a note of that. The NIL rumors. Deion put out a video today where he said, I'm trying to think exactly how he put it. Oh, he just basically was like, we don't have any money here. Like he didn't come here because we're paying him. He said he chose there because they beat the other schools in the recruiting process. So who knows? I mean, regardless, because this happened, this kid's NIL is going to go through the roof anyways.
Oh,
whether
sure.
he has anything going with Barstool or not, there's going to be something. And, kudos to Deion Sanders, though. It looks like he's turning out to like be a pretty solid coach because I'm pretty sure Jackson State, the program was like pretty bad. And since he's taken over and done a little bit of a rebuild with his staff and the players they're bringing in, I mean, they're in a bowl game. So I think Saturday maybe. But I just think it's cool. And I also liked the one interview he did where the media guy was calling him Prime. And he was like, call me Coach Sanders. Like, why are you calling me Prime? Yeah. I'm Coach Sanders. I just kind of I like that he's really taking it serious because I think a lot of people weren't sure how that
Yeah. Yep. I think I'm a fan. I like what he's doing down there. The thing I worry about is this kid. Did he make the right choice for himself? I'm just a little skeptical, and maybe I'll be wrong. But, if you're the number 2 cornerback coming out, now who knows what happens in 4 years? You see this all the time. Top prospect turns into nothing. But is this kid possibly costing himself a chance at being a top 10 draft pick because he's going to play at Jackson State? I worry about that.
He's going to look really, really good.
You would hope.
Right.
But if he doesn't look really, really good, there's just a lot of pressure to be that much better than.
I guess the question that for NFL scouts would be, does a guy who looks really, really good at Jackson State look better than a guy who looks above average Like, say this guy's a 100 at Jackson State versus the guy who's an 80 at Florida State.
Yep.
Who's
that's going to be. They did say that they think that this is going to help Jackson State maybe pull like a top wide receiver prospect. They call it like the Saban effect, where you're going to be able to say, hey, you're going to go against the best receiver in the country every day in practice. You're both going to get better.
Yeah.
You know, which is going to drive you up. But we'll see if that comes to be true.
Real quick, couple more things before we take a break. Quinn Ewers, last week we talked about he got in the transfer portal. Texas is the pick. He is committed, and that's where he's heading. So that big payday that the boosters are going to give him, which I found out. Did you know that Texas is actually the football program that's worth the most money in the country?
I don't know if I knew it, but that doesn't surprise me.
I saw a top 25 list. I'll get that for next week on the show, just to so people know, see what it is and everything. It's pretty wild, but yeah, they're the football program that's worth the most money in the country. So it makes sense that the boosters are willing to pass off all this cash. So bowl season's arrived. Don't have much to say about it. We're just going to wait for some results. We'll talk about it next week. Two bowl games tomorrow, 6 on Saturday. Apparently one on Saturday is called the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. Did you know that was a thing?
I had no idea. No.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, I don't think I want to watch any of it.
He's pretty
Tigers
bad
on Saturday.
Yeah, it's I can't remember who's playing in it. Oregon State or something. Yeah, I don't know. But either way, I just thought it was ridiculous that they named a bowl after that guy. This week's opening segment brought to you by Napoli's. Hungry watching the game? Call Napoli's at 814-723-7455. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Located in North Warren. Pickup or delivery available. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with 5 fast facts for this week in sports history.
Hungry? Watching the game? Order some Napoli's Pizza, voted the best pizza in the Times Observer Reader's Choice every year. Homemade, hand-tossed, delicious hot pizza, stromboli, salads, subs, and so much more. Located in North Warren, come on in or call 814-723-7455 and ask about our specials. Pickup or delivery available 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Again, that's 814-723-7455.
Hi, this is Brian Hagberg, and I wanted to take a moment and tell you about our new website, YourDailyLocal.com. Your Daily Local is your new home for news, sports, and events in Warren County and beyond. Our goal is to cover the people, places, events, and happenings that matter to you in a variety of ways, including writing, video, and audio. And the best part? All of our content is available for free. Head to YourDailyLocal.com to get the news you need when you need it.
Let's take a look back at this week in sports history.
This week in sports history is brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. 5 fast facts. Starting off 1922, Pete Henry makes the longest known NFL drop-kicked field goal at 45 yards. So I had to look into this because the drop kick's not something that happens a lot at all. In fact, the last time it happened was Flutie, 2006. When Flutie did the drop kick, it was for an extra point, so it only counted as one. But when he did that in 2006, it was the first time the drop kick's been used in the NFL since the 1941 championship game. And Belichick said after the game, he was like, yeah, it's been like 60 years. It'll probably be another 60 before it's used again.
Yep.
Number 2, we got 1937. The NFL draft first overall pick, Corbett Davis from the University of Indiana is drafted to the Cleveland Rams. Did you know this was a thing?
I did not. From Cleveland to Shanghai. How about it?
Few stops in between, though. Few stops
Yep,
in between. So here's what I found out, because I had to look into this, because I was like, the Cleveland Rams? That franchise.
I didn't know that.
The franchise was founded in Cleveland.
All the more reason they're terrible.
So established in Cleveland as the Cleveland Rams, they played in the AFL in 1936, then moved to the NFL from 1937 to 1945, moved to Los Angeles in 1946, where they played for 49 years before 94 moving to St. Louis, 21 seasons, now back to LA. That's the same franchise. I didn't know that. I never knew they played in Cleveland.
I had no idea. No idea.
Now more ammunition for you.
Yeah, explains a lot.
So I do pick on the Browns a lot, and sometimes I think people get upset about it because I say Brownsing, and so I wanted to throw this out there as a peace offering. 1949, the Cleveland Browns beat the San Francisco 49ers 21-7 in the AAFL championship game. Or I'm sorry, AAFC. So this is the All-American Football Conference championship game. 49ers go down to the Cleveland Browns.
It's like the last time that'll happen. So it's okay. No, Browns won what was it, 8 of 10 championships or something like that?
Yeah, they won quite a few back. Yeah, they were good back in the 40s.
Yep.
So this is a good one right here. I actually had a post about this, like a graphic saved that I've been wanting to post, but I never had the right time to post it. So this worked out perfectly. Back when I did like hockey, back in high school days, I was an Avalanche fan. Which anybody who's listened the whole way through since the show began knows that story, where I liked them when I was younger. I kind of quit watching them, and then they got good again recently, but now I feel bad going back to them because I feel like I didn't stick it out, But anyways, when I was in high school, Joe Sakic was my favorite player. He played number 19, played for the Avalanche. So he scores his 500th career goal in 2002. Well, that leads me to an opening to tell this story. Sean Avery played for the Red Wings. He was a known trash talker, rookie, but had the respect of Brendan Shanahan, Brett Hall, those kinds of guys. They're playing a game against Colorado, and Sakic skates by the bench. Sean Avery starts yelling off the bench, "Hey, Sakic! Hey, Sakic!" Brett Hall grabs him and pulls him back down into his seat. And he says to him, "You're not allowed to speak to Mr. Sakic." And Avery looks down the bench at the rest of the guys on the team, and they all just nodded yeah, you haven't earned that yet. Because it's just a cool story. I thought that a lot of good, if you ever get bored, look up hockey mic'd up stuff. It's hilarious. Some of it's hilarious. Those guys are insane. All of them.
That's a fact.
I just thought that was a cool one. I wanted to share that story. Last one. Johnny Football. Yep, there it is. What year was that? 2012. 78th Heisman Trophy Award goes to Texas A&M quarterback Johnny Manziel. Drafted by the Browns. That went about as well as it has for every Browns quarterback since they got the team going again. But entertaining nonetheless. He was fun to watch it. He was fun to watch in college.
He was a ton of fun to watch in college. Yeah. He just, NFL just, I don't think he had the.
He really likes drugs.
The heart, the drive. Yeah. He just didn't care. I think his grandpa's super wealthy too, so it wasn't there was no hunger there. It's just whatever.
They were loaded to begin with. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, that wraps up our 5 facts. We're gonna carry on because we got things that sting. It's pretty full, and then we got a good guest coming on. Head baseball coach Andrew Morrison will be on in my hive. This week in sports history is brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. We're going to take a quick minute and a half, and we'll be back with the things that sting.
Jones Pest Control, your hometown pest control company servicing residential and commercial properties in Warren and surrounding areas since 2015. Sean and his crew will work tirelessly to keep your home or business free of insects to rodents and everything in between. Contact Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548 and set up an appointment today. And remember, ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control, 814-230-9548.
Checkout means sales and services with 2 locations on Warren's east side. Their garage at 800 Lexington Avenue not only services cars sold by Means, but has knowledgeable staff and modern state-of-the-art equipment waiting to serve their hometown of Warren. Whatever you need, including alignments, tires, brakes, yearly or enhanced PA inspections, oil changes, and much more. Make your appointment today at 814-723-7191, extension 2.
It's now time for the things that sting. The worst stories in sports, according to Joe.
This edition of the Things That Stings, powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548. That's 814-230-9548. Jam-packed Things That Sting, just like last week. There's just a lot of insane shit happening. But we actually have a lot of updates from old cases, including Deshawn Watson, which was literally talked about on the very first episode of this show. So that's how long that's been getting drug out for. First one we're going to get to is probably, I think this literally was announced like an hour after we were done with the show last week or somewhere around there.
That Thursday night for sure, yeah.
Demaryius Thomas dies at age 33. The family believes it was because of a seizure that took place when he was in the shower. He's been suffering from seizures for over a year. This is possibly caused by complications from a car crash that he was in. The Broncos throw up a really cool tribute, doing the 10 guys on the field take a delay of game penalty at the beginning while 88 was up on the big screen. Just listening to players talk about him. I always liked Demaryius Thomas. That was a dude who just played football hard. He played it well. He never caused issues for his team or with the media or anything like that. Like, he was just a really stand-up guy. Peyton Manning described him as a better person than football player, and then described him as a Hall of Fame football player. So just to, perspective.
Yeah, I was going to say kudos to Dan Campbell, too. He said the Broncos reached out to him Saturday night before the game and told him what they were going to do. And he said, absolutely, we'll take the –
I didn't even know that part.
Whatever. Yeah, they reached out to him, and he was like, yeah, absolutely, we're not going to run a play. Or not run a play, but he was like, we're cool with that. They think they declined the penalty as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that they Dan Campbell part. That's really badass.
Yeah, I just saw that today. But yeah, Demaryius Thomas, awesome player, helped me to a fantasy championship or two, and probably has one of my favorite NFL plays of all time.
Is that a fact? Because stand by.
The Broncos have been in 3 overtime games this year. They won them all. Down at the 30. It's Thomas at the 50. Sticker again, 3 to the 30, to the 20. Thomas to the 10. Denver's going over the New England. They win on the first play of overtime.
Was it that one?
Look, that was the play. How did you know?
I didn't, but I uploaded that earlier because I was going to do it as a tribute anyways. So that literally works out perfect. No, seriously, people listening, we did not plan. That wasn't planned. I was a surprise video that I was going to put up there. And just so happened that it's your favorite play by him too.
I think it's an iconic play, especially, just watching the Steelers lose to that with Tim Tebow
in the playoffs.
Oh, man. Yeah. Just love it. It's just
good
an awesome
stuff.
moment.
Good stuff. All right, we're going to carry on. Deshawn Watson update. So like I said, this is like going back to episode 1 when we talked about, that was when I was just in the basement by myself recording. Deshawn Watson. So there is an update on this. Search warrants have been secured from the FBI. They issued 3 for his social media accounts being anything owned by Facebook, Instagram, Cash App, all this stuff they're looking at. The crime listed on the warrants, so they do have like the lead charge of what they're investigating would be indecent assault, which is what I kind of figured it would be anyways. The report also came out that prosecutors are likely to present the case to the grand jury in January, and that came from one of the women, one of the accusers told that Busby, the attorney who's representing all of the victims, one of those women told Busby that the prosecutors, when they were interviewing her, told her that they were going to present it to a grand jury in January. They said maybe December, more than likely January. So this was to no surprise to Watson's representation. They said we anticipated that it's going to be put in front of a grand jury. So at least there's some movement going on with that case. So maybe there can be some closure on. Most importantly for the victims and for Watson, the closure, but clearly, sports fans are pretty, invested in that situation and trying to figure, is Watson going to play somewhere else next year? He could make a team better, or is he going to be playing for the Mean Machine? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I kind of agree. It'd be nice to see a resolution to this because he is one of the premier young talents in the league. If he's being wrongfully accused, it'd be nice to see him out on the field. But if he isn't being wrongfully accused, if he's guilty of these charges, get the guy locked up. He shouldn't be just walking around free. It needs to be a resolution one way or the other with this.
Correct. On to the next one, Henry Ruggs update. So the judge ruled to invoke the Nevada privacy laws to limit info available to prosecutors. So they'll get the blood test results, obviously. But what they cannot get, what they can't do is ask doctors what Ruggs said following the incident to them, and nothing to do with the conversation or treatment as to any patient-doctor relationship. So they can't go try and obtain any of that information. My line of thinking, from a law enforcement standpoint, is that at this point, that's really not that important. What he said to doctors or what his injuries were, as far as from a prosecution standpoint, because they have the blood, they have him at the crash. They all those pieces are in place to get a conviction. The one hang up that they may have is his girlfriend's attorney is also giving issue for the police obtaining her medical records from the injuries she sustained. And one of the charges put against Ruggs, that additional felony that was added, was because of her injury as a victim in the crash.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I don't want to speculate, but this could be like a situation where Ruggs and the girlfriend are still together and life is good, and she doesn't want him to catch the charge for what happened to her. So she's, her and her attorney are playing hardball with prosecutors a little bit. I don't know if that's the case or what, but the prelim. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say it'll be really interesting to see how this one goes because the guy obviously did it. He's going to get something. I'm interested to see if the court's going to hammer him like he's a normal person, or if there's going to be a little bit of NFL player in this, and he's going to avoid some of the harsh punishment that he should get.
I don't see how he can, given that she died. The woman died. It's really hard to skirt around any of that. Unless they come up with some insane plea deal. I always look back to like Dante Stallworth and what happened with him. Right. Blows my mind. Yeah. So the prelim for this has been moved to March 10th, so there probably won't be much movement more in the case as far as a media standpoint until then, because that's when, at the prelim they'll have to prove the prima facie that in all likeliness a crime was committed, and in all likeliness Ruggs committed the crime. Essentially, how that goes. So that's not till March 10th now. So there's really not much that takes place between that then and now. So
right.
This one's mind blowing as usual. Zach Stacy update.
I didn't see what happened, but
body cam footage. Body cam footage was released of when they took him into custody, and he's speaking while he's being taken into custody, and he's making all sorts of what police would call spontaneous utterances. He's not being asked any questions regarding the incident. It's just stuff he's saying. And that's what from that's a law enforcement term would be a spontaneous utterance. It's just things that is coming out of his mouth. A lot of people, I'm not going to say a lot, but there's just some cases where people actually admit to crimes when you aren't even asking them. They just start talking.
Yep.
So he starts claiming that the ex-girlfriend or baby mother staged the attack and manipulated him into violence. He called this an act of bitterness, that she set him up only to get his money. Evans, the girlfriend, actually took the video that TMZ released of the body cam footage and did her own thing with it and made her own video where she says, "I don't know how you can stage getting your ass beat."
That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Too stupid to realize there's a camera in the house. She set him up. But hey, baby, here's my fantasy. Whip me against this fucking TV real quick. It turns me on.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's just complete lack of taking responsibility for what he did. And he's trying to make it look like a cash grab. Well, guess what, dude? She's probably going to get paid now because you just beat the hell out of her on camera, chucked her into a TV, and even paying her isn't enough of a punishment for what that dude deserves for what happened.
No, absolutely.
Hunter Geckel says, "You threw her through a TV. Unless Vince McMahon is behind it, I don't think so." I agree with Hunter.
Absolutely.
All right, so where are we at here? Couple more to go. Phillip Adams and Vincent Jackson updates. So Phillip Adams, I don't even know if I talked about that on the show. Did I ever talk about that?
I don't think I don't think you ever talked about it, and I kind of had forgot that had happened. I didn't realize he was a 49er. So I saw an article the other day.
Killed 6 people and then killed himself. He killed an entire family, a doctor, wife, and so his brain, obviously, and Vincent Jackson's both have been donated to science. Both were found to be in stage 2 CTE with unusual, what they described as unusually severe cases with heavy damage to the frontal lobe. So again, Phillip Adams is a former NFL player accused of killing 6 people before killing himself in Rock Hill, South Carolina in April. Vincent Jackson was found dead in a hotel earlier this year in Florida, both of which have now the analysis of the brain when they took the brain and studied them showed stage 2 CTE. So I don't know what I hate to say it because I love the game of football, but I think as time goes, we see the contact and everything just getting less and less and less and less and less.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, it's tough because you change the way the game is played and no one wants to see that. But at the same time, stuff like this keeps happening.
Right.
How many guys are we talking about now that, not only are they, killing themselves or killing other people, just the violence that goes with it. You hear about these guys that can't function. I mean, it's sad. It's really sad that for a short, what's the average NFL career? 3-year career?
Yeah. But
4 years.
But you figure these guys have been playing football since however long, and I honestly wonder how much of the start of it and stuff, because the NFL has the money to look into all this safety, safety this, safety that, different equipment, trying out new helmets and all this stuff. Where like high school kids, you go in, you get your Rydell helmet and a bulky pair of shoulder pads, and that's what you get. And you're cracking heads with, because it's not like,
you got a helmet that's been passed down.
They're still learning, and they're still learning. Years, They're still learning tackling techniques and all, things like that, not leading with your head. And I mean, shit, there's NFL players who still can't figure that out. So, the kids are behind the curve when it comes to that. And I'm sure coaching, as it trickles down from the NFL, they are working with kids on tackling and different techniques and stuff like that. But it's just the fact of the matter is, financially, the NFL can approach this in a whole different world than a high school team can.
Yep.
So unless they're in Texas.
Correct. Texas team's got a little bit of money.
They got some cash.
Just a little bit.
Hunter Geckel, if you're still with us watching, this one's for you, because he actually tagged me in this, and hashtagged it Things That Sting. Georgia Southern women's basketball defeats Carver College 133-15. 118-point victory, is the second largest of all time in women's college basketball. I thought for sure that's it, right? That's No, it's not.
Unbelievable.
It's the second largest. The largest is Savannah State defeating Wesleyan 155-26 for an 129-point victory. So that's in Division I women's college basketball. Those are the
embarrassing.
Yep. Yeah, it's not great. Here's another one I found that I just thought was pretty funny. Coppin State forgot their jerseys, their uniforms, for a road game against Drexel, and played the entire game in Drexel's practice pennies.
Oh, jeez.
They looked like the fucking Cornerstone Snakes.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, they did, though. They had Cornerstone Snake-like pennies on, except for theirs were black, ours are orange. And we win our games. They lost 76-69.
Love it.
Matt Every's become my favorite golfer.
Okay. Didn't see this.
Okay. So second round of the Riviera Open. On the front nine, he shoots a 29. Things are good.
Pretty good. Yep.
Starts the back with a bogey on 10 and 12. He slams his putter off of the cart path, picks it up and rifles it into the pond. Putts with a wedge for the last 6 holes, plays them 4 under, and shoots a 63 and finishes 6th.
Yep. I've seen that before. I've seen guys do that. Yeah.
So
impressive.
So his partner, and I didn't write down the guy's name, maybe like John Scott or something like that, the guy he was paired with, said he tweeted a response to the tweet about this incident. And he said that the putter was brand new, and he goes, yeah, so pretty much it made it from factory to 12 holes to pond.
Not bad.
So I love this guy. I'm going to keep an eye on him, because apparently he's had like several meltdowns before, because I was looking into him a little bit. Yeah, he's nuts. So I like him. Gonna start paying attention to him a little bit. We like to end on some good news before we head into My Hive. Tate Meir, who we talked about, the Oxford student who rushed the school shooter and, potentially saved multiple lives while doing so. He's been named an honorary signee for the 2022 class of commits to Michigan State University. Apparently it was his dream to play at Michigan State, and they made him an honorary signee so that he is a Spartan for life, which is a really cool honor, and it's really cool that they did that. And I'm loving the sports world embracing tragedy. It just makes me really happy when I see stuff like that, because sports bring us all together. something that I think everybody to a degree can agree on. Of course, there's been some stuff recently where they've been a little bit divisive, but in general,
Right.
when stuff like this happens, it's easy to rally around sports. And so I just think it's cool between this and the Dan Campbell game ball and Michigan wearing the patch on their shoulder. Like there's a lot of cool stuff going on with that. So,
Yep.
All right. Real quick, I got to throw this comment up in regards to Matt Every. Real life Happy Gilmore. Certainly is. That's part of the reason I love the guy. This edition of the Things That Stings, powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice. Don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548. That's 814-230-9548. We're going to take a quick break and get Mo on here with us. And we'll have, like I said, head baseball coach of the Warren Dragons, entering his first season here coming up. He's going to be joining us. Andrew Morrison. Stick around. Icy Ink in Warren is a great place for personalized gift ideas. They offer custom screen printing, embroidery, and specialize in youth fundraisers. Online stores are available. Check them out on Facebook or at icyink.com. That's ICYYinc.com. No setup fee for youth sports or organizations. Located on Penn Avenue East in Warren, the Blue Building by the Glade Bridge. Or call 814-688-0034. That's 814-688-0034.
Hi, this is Ryan Klein, the host of the new pop culture podcast, Me, Myself, and Rye. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and several other platforms. Special guests, breakaway shows, bonus episodes, cold beers, and a whole lot more. So what are you guys and gals waiting for? Subscribe now to the Me, Myself, and Rye podcast on Spotify or wherever it is that you get your shows and start listening today.
My Hive, Joe's very own world of sports.
Hey everybody, welcome back to My Hive. This week's guest, new Warren Dragons head baseball coach, Andrew Morrison. Andrew, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thanks for having me, fellas. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. So just named head coach, Warren Dragon baseball. Let's hear a little bit about the path that started you out. Obviously you played, baseball for the Warren Dragons growing up and everything. Let's hear the path that led you to becoming their newly named head coach.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I played football and basketball in high school too. Football a little bit more seriously. Basketball was just kind of there when they needed somebody to foul someone. But after that, I went to Mercyhurst for a couple years. Played football there, and then a couple injuries there to the old noggin. So that football playing days were over, and then went to Pitt Bradford for 2 years of baseball, and then graduated from there. And then I started coaching football here in Warren when I was 21. So that was 7 years ago at this point now. So I've been doing it a while now, which is kind of crazy to think about. It's been that long already. But did that, and then I went back to school to Edinburgh to get my master's degree for school counseling. So I just recently got a job as a school counselor here. So now that I'm kind of stable and back in town stably, I was able to take this job coaching baseball. I'm excited about it.
Have you been assisting with the baseball team as well?
No, I did 1 year right away after I graduated when I was 21. But they've had the same staff over there for 7 years, the whole time I was there coaching football. So there was no need. And honestly, at the time, doing football was enough for me. I didn't need to do two sports at the time, and now I feel like I'm able to take on a little bit more.
So you're taking over for Rick Eaton, who's been there. Has he been there 7 years? Is that how long he's been there?
I think 8 years, because I think he was 2013 through 2021. Yeah, because I had Jeff Pizzaro in high school, and then he retired 2 years after me. So
are you? I don't know if they were able to even tell you, or if they even know. Are you because you're what? How old are you, Andrew?
28.
28. So are you the youngest baseball coach ever to be named for Warren High?
I don't know that for a fact, but I mean, there haven't been that many because they've had a pretty good line of consistency for coaches. So it's probably a pretty good guess, but I don't know that.
Speaking of line of consistency, reminds me of the chat we were having earlier about the Steelers and how they've had three coaches since 1969. Yeah. We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a little bit, Mo.
But I've been watching it, and when you played that Demaryius Thomas clip, I'm like, I don't know if this is. I don't know, but
I wondered if he was going to go. I wondered if he was going to go to this when he showed it.
So big shoes to fill then, right, for Warren baseball, because it's been a program that's kind of been on a major upswing in the last decade or so, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, they've been super consistent for the last 10 years. I mean, they've won 2 D10 titles, which is a lot around here considering who we have against what we have to deal with, and they've had a lot of kids go to college and play. So 100% like something we need to keep up.
A few to Mercyhurst for sure, right? Burdine.
Yeah.
Did he go there?
Burdine's there. My brother's at Mercyhurst now. He transferred there.
He did? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yep. He transferred there this year. So he's there with all his buddies, Rapolsky and Mitch Grush too. So yeah, there's about there's 4 of them there. There's a couple other places too. So they're all over the place. Yeah.
So what
that's what we got to keep up is getting kids there.
Getting kids to school playing. Yeah, that's cool that there's been that many. Yeah, I don't even think I realized there was that many. I knew Aiden was playing, your brother. I knew Aiden was playing. Where was he at? Canisius?
He was at Canisius, yeah. They had the COVID year the first year, so that didn't count. And then he was a redshirt last year. So he's technically only a redshirt freshman. So.
Okay. And he's now at Mercyhurst playing, though. Okay. So
correct. Yep.
What question I have for you is what will you bring to the team, and what message are you going to try to pass on and instill into your young squad that you're going to have?
Yeah, the big thing for me is just trying to keep everybody enjoying it. You know, I'm not going to be super easy on them or anything like that, but I want everybody to have fun. I mean, we have a young team, honestly. We had signups the other day. We had 31 kids and only 2 of them are seniors. So that's
Wow.
going to be a challenge for sure. Yeah. We've got 12 juniors and 14 sophomores. So, and then 5 freshmen. So it's going to be a challenge with that, getting the younger kids ready to go. But we want to be positive. Myself and the other 2 coaches that we have going right now are all going to kind of preach that. And then just keeping the energy up and working together. It's a lot easier to win when you're having fun, and it's a lot easier to win too when you're putting in the work in the off season. We're going to start doing that. Our first workout Saturday. So.
Oh, you're getting them go. So when does season start?
Not till April, but we want us to get started right away because about half our team plays other sports, which we want them to do other sports, but the other half are just kind of chilling right now, going to school. So we want to keep them busy.
Did you build your own staff of assistants? Were you able to do that, or did they have guys already in place that just came with you or stuck around?
I did build the staff. They haven't approved them yet, so I'm not like officially allowed to say who it is, but it was kind of in the paper already. So it was Ed Bollensberger is going to be one of them, and he was already on the staff. He's the pitching coach, and that's an area that I really need help. So he's going to be there, and then Johnny White, who's my cousin, is going to be doing it as well. He's younger than me. He played college baseball at Penn State DuBois. He's going to be one of the other ones, and I have one other one lined up that we got to kind of get finalized, but.
Is that Mike Honorati is a huge baseball guy if you have an opening.
Well, I was going to let him announce it, but if he wants to tell everybody, no.
We were trying to keep it under wraps, Joe.
We figured we could get 2 birds with 1 stone, get him there, and then he could drive the bus too. So
I don't know if you want him doing either of those things.
Nah, I know, I'm just messing, but no, we'll definitely be there for some team breakfast at Peppermill though. So he'll be perfect.
Hell yeah. So that's great. No, I'm really proud of you. I've known you for a long time, and you've always been involved with the high school program since I can remember. Having met you, I was pretty sure that you were involved, and of course, your mother taught me her very first year of teaching. So it's a pretty cool connection that we have. Your mom's great. Love seeing her when I go into the schools and stuff.
Yeah, she coached softball for a long time too, so that's kind of where it comes from.
Right. Yeah, it's in your blood, so that's cool.
Yep.
So you want to talk a little bit about your pro sports teams here, Andrew?
We'll skip the hockey team. They're the best of the 3, but no, we'll go. We can talk about the Steelers. I heard that whole segment earlier. So
what are your thoughts? What do you think's going on with those guys?
The locker room stuff is one thing. Like you said, we don't really know what's going on behind the closed doors. With the, I was a big Juju defender at first, but that got old to me pretty quick. The whole dancing thing, and then the Claypool thing last Thursday. I was watching that about half asleep because I was going to go to bed at halftime. I should have, but I was too busy, like you said, reading all the Facebook statuses. I wanted to see who'd be right and who'd be wrong. But no, I stayed up for that, and then I couldn't tell if I was asleep or dreaming or if I actually saw him do that first down. But that stuff. It is what it is. They're the thing that's more concerning to me about them is the lack of direction front office wise. I know I'm going to get some crap for this, but I know you guys agree with me, but a lot of my friends that are Steelers fans don't. The running back in the first round just drives me insane. I mean, he's a good player. He's a great player.
He's a great player. But the best analogy I ever heard for that pick was what Munch said way back when we were doing the draft episode, whenever, April, whenever that was. And Munch said them drafting Najee Harris is like buying a Cadillac without an engine.
Yeah, that's really what it is. I mean, the line's gotten worse. It's legitimately a miracle that Roethlisberger's alive. Like, I don't know how he's like. Yep. I wonder why he's throwing all those short passes. He doesn't want to die. He wants to collect that $39 million that he's there for. But you could see that pick coming a mile away, though. And same with they got another good player in the second round, but they really need another pass catcher. I mean, I texted Munch as soon as they picked Harris. I'm like, we're gonna pick Freiermuth in the second round. Watch it.
Yep.
It is what it is. I hope they. What I'm worried about now is that with Ben retiring, they're gonna draft one of these quarterbacks, and he's gonna be running for his life back there too. But
How bad do you want Kenny Pickett to stay in Pittsburgh?
I don't want him to because I want him to succeed. I want him to do well. I'm like one of the only Pitt football fans that I know that I'm really into Pitt.
You're very into Pitt football. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've listened to all the Penn State fans for how many years now, so it was nice to have 1 year where we were at least comparable. I know we had a better record, but the ACC, it's the ACC.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he's going to end up actually going before the Steelers pick. If I had to predict right now, just because quarterbacks always get overhyped, you know how that goes. He'll probably end up on the Texans or something like that.
Everybody reaches for QBs,
and that's what I don't want the Steelers to do. If it's not there this year, try to trade for one. Who knows what's going on with the Rodgers, the Watsons, the Wilsons of the world, but I'd rather take a look at that kind of stuff than reach for somebody.
Yeah, I think
how bad their line is. I bet he will be. I bet he will be.
He's going to be free.
Jimmy G.
They should just put Debo at quarterback at this point. He's doing everything else.
He's playing every other position. They need a little help at corner. What the hell?
Yeah, I know, especially right now with all the COVID stuff going on. But my question for you is Eli Mitchell going to play this week? Because I kind of need him for my fantasy.
I fucking hope so, because I do too.
Well, I have Wilson.
I hope so. It sounds like he's gonna.
Anybody who doesn't have COVID, it doesn't matter what other injury you have. If you don't have COVID, you got to play this week because everybody else is out.
Yeah. I just saw before we got on the Rams, 25 people on the list. 25.
The Rams.
25.
They added 9 like an hour ago, so they got 25.
Holy shit!
Right now. I don't even know.
I've got Henderson. I've got Henderson and Gaskin who both have COVID, which Henderson might be good to go. Gaskin, they were saying, is vaccinated, might be good to go. But I don't know if I can field a team this week. It's going to be.
They might have to cancel fantasy too.
I know. I think they should just personally. I have Tyler Lockett. I have AJ Brown. I think they should move everything back a week.
Shut her down a week and move everything back, or cancel this stupid week 18.
Yeah, that's what they could just do that. I mean, that's definitely not helping things at this point. But I'm just glad we get to see Nick Mullins play again. That'll be exciting.
Amen to that. That's what they're gonna win. This is the best thing that could have happened to the Browns.
So does he get added to the Browns jersey, that really long jersey?
Yeah.
He's a starting quarterback. He has to.
Yeah. So my question is, if they win, is the quarterback controversy between Keenum and Mullins, or Mullins and Mayfield, or which way does it go? Because
it's a love triangle.
And I keep hearing it's Baker's. The drop off to Keenum's not bad, and then the drop off from him to Mullins isn't bad. So what's that saying about Baker? I don't know.
Baker is with the torn labrum, and I'm gonna give Browns fans a pass and say it's the torn labrum that's messing him up. He's scared. But God, he looks awful. How do you pay that guy right now? I mean, you got maybe 2 years where you can.
I think he's got 1 year left.
I don't know what they do.
1 year left on the option.
Yeah. If I was agent, I would just go in and play the highlights from the Steelers playoff game last year. But that's
Yep. Well, his agent might be wanting to try and get a deal done now. Let's do the extension immediately.
Yeah, really.
Before he gets more.
Maybe he'll end up on this. He'll probably end up on the Steelers. I'm eating my words here.
Funny thing you say that, Mo, because I had a little family gathering last week. My mom's a Steelers fan, and she looks at me and she goes, I hope the Steelers end up with Baker Mayfield. And I'm like, why? And she goes, fantastic commercials.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a great actor. If he keeps getting hurt, he's going to have to rely on that. But, man, he is good. You gotta give
his commercials are really funny. But, I mean, the worry now with Pittsburgh, like you were saying, though, is you have your quarterback on his way out the door, so that's one need, and then your offensive line needs revamped yet again, at least in some spots, and that's another need. So it's really the draft and free agency this year, and I don't know what their numbers look like for the cap. I haven't looked, but I know the number. I think I think it's jumping next year. Is it next year that it's supposed to jump?
Yeah, they've got some space, but they're going to have to extend. I mean, Watt's number kicks in, and then they've got Fitzpatrick too that they're going to have to extend if they're going to keep him. So
what's going on with that?
It'll fill up quick.
What's going on with that defense? I mean, the defense this year has been like very unimpressive.
Yeah,
I mean,
missing
result
two
of the
doesn't
offense?
help, but they're on the field the whole time. That doesn't help too. But
Yeah,
they're not getting
yeah.
the turnover. You know, they still make big plays, but they've lost dudes, you know, from injuries. But yeah, that's definitely not. The worst part is they haven't been able to time up having a good defense and having a good offense at the same time.
Yeah.
Years they have a good defense, their offense is terrible, and then when they had AB and Bell, their defense was horrific. Like giving up 45 to Blake Bortles in a wild card game or in a divisional game.
Right.
Bye.
If TJ Watt could stay healthy for an entire season, the numbers he would put up would be fucking scary.
I know. It's crazy. We were just talking about that. I was watching it with my friends last Thursday. We only watched the first half and everybody kind of went home. But we were saying like the one thing we really were hoping he'd stay healthy, that he could win a defensive player of the year. It'd be nice to have that for him. And then next thing we know, they're showing him on the sideline standing like this without a helmet. We're like, oh, well, that's the end of that. But,
his groin has been nagging him all season. It's
all
been,
year. And he's still putting up those numbers without.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's he got? He has like 16 sacks and he's missed 5 games. That's nuts. He's what?
He's insane.
Six and a half away from the record. What's the record? 22 and a half? Strahan?
I think that's what it is, yeah.
Strahan still have it, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple guys within – there's a couple guys, I think, within striking distance of that this year.
But that's just not – But it might already be broken if fucking TJ Watt was not missing games.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. With 4 games to go, where would he be with a full season under his belt? I mean, that dude is just and I talked to somebody about this, and it was funny because they had mentioned it to me, and it was my thought also all along, but I won't take credit for it because somebody else said it to me. But his style of play is Troy Polamalu at a different position. It's all out, putting my body on the line, doing everything I can to be effective. But the lifespan of a player who plays like that is just not. It's just not. It's just not gonna. You know.
And that's you kind of see that with his brother too. Honestly, with JJ, I mean, he went from peaking to he's tearing things almost every week now. It seems like in there. But nice thing with TJ is like, but they aren't the easiest team to root for right now as far as players, but he's easy to root for at least him.
He is. He really is. I agree with that. And Najee, too.
Yeah, he is, too. I mean, that's what I have no ill will towards him. I hope he does well, but I just didn't like the pick. It's just from a fundamental, like a standpoint as far as a process, that's not what I would have done. But
All right. Well, hey, Mo, thanks for joining us. We'll get you back in here when we get to later in the spring and check in on how the season's going, and you can let us know how your debut. You're 0-0 right now.
0-0. Yeah, we got to try to stay below 500 here. So hopefully we start out well. But
undefeated, aim high, kid.
Yeah. Hey, who knows? Yeah. Hopefully. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you, Mo. All right, that was good. Really proud of him. Excited for him. Comes from a good family, good people. So it's cool that he got a crack at that. 28 years old, head coach. I would venture to say that he'd be the youngest.
I was trying to think about this today because we had some young basketball coaches and stuff, and it's I have no idea how old they were. In perspective of the time, you're just thinking no, they're older. They might have been.
That's actually true too. Yeah, I didn't really thought about that.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah,
that's. To these kids, Mo's probably old. At 28.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right. So real quick for those still with us and for those who are going to listen later on, just want to make a quick announcement for next week's episode 40. It's going to be the same time, Thursday at 6:00. However, we're going to be doing a couple Christmas giveaways. We're going to have a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway, and Sketty, the man himself, is going to match it with a $25 Peppermill gift card. So we're going to have 2 gift cards. We're going to go ahead.
I was going to say, you can get almost 3.5 chocolate milks for that.
No, you can't. You can get 2 chocolate milks for a $25 gift card. The chocolate milk prices at that place are outrageous. So, yeah, two gift cards we're going to give away. Maybe 2 if I have the shirts in by then. I think I'm going to have them this weekend, I'm hoping, so we can get those posted on the page for sale and everything. But maybe give away a shirt too. But it's going to be, December 23rd? Is that right? Because Christmas Eve is Friday. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So the 23rd, Thursday night, going to do the Christmas edition Beehive Sports Podcast, episode 40, doing some giveaways. So make sure you pay attention to the Facebook page and learn how we're going to be. We haven't come up with our ground rules yet or what we're going to do, but maybe like a number elimination or a trivia, something like that. So you're going to want to be tuning in so you can be a part of that and have a shot at winning some free shit. So real quick, thank you everybody for listening. Thank the sponsors, Swing Juice, Napoli's Pizza, YourDailyLocal.com, Mean Sales and Service, Jones Pest Control, Icy Inc., and the Me, Myself, and Rye podcast. We will be ending the broadcast, or episode 39. Like usual, we'll be kicking back live and doing the 3-bagger show, real quick one before Thursday night Chiefs-Chargers here kicks off, about a half hour. So stick around for that. If not, we'll catch you next week, like we said. Till then, take care. Be safe.